Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Amma ba'du fa'uzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Complacency. I have been asked to speak about complacency today. What is complacency? A feeling of uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievement, says Google. That you feel that whatever you have, it's good enough. You don't need to do more. You're perfectly fine in your skin, in whatever it is that you're doing. People oftentimes don't really have this approach when it comes to material success. Find me one person who says, I don't want more wealth. Find a king and he'll tell you he can use another billion. Find any person and they'll always say, yeah, we can do a little bit more. We can benefit from more wealth. When it comes to material success, no one has this approach that what we have is good enough. They always want more. And that's okay, I guess. But then, when it comes to spiritual progress, when it comes to your relationship with your Creator, many people are comfortable in their skin. Many people think, yeah, we're good. We don't need to do more. And that's the hard reality. That many of us, maybe including myself, we don't want to confront. When it comes to spiritual progress, we think it's enough where we are. So it begs the question, what causes this type of complacency? What is it that tells us that, yeah, I don't need to go to the masjid. I'm fine. If I'm doing my prayers at home, it's good enough. Or if I don't go to Jummah at the masjid, it's all good. If I'm not watching MTA, it's okay. I'll hear some summary of Hazur's khutbah sometime. If I'm not participating in Salat and Brotherhood of Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya or whatever program that's happening, it's okay. If I'm not paying chanda, it's okay. I'll pay sometime. What is causing complacency? What is it that's creating that blockage, which is not letting us move beyond that? It's not letting us go forward. So I thought about it. I looked into this subject. There are many scientific reasons, but those reasons I'm going to skip. I'm going to give you the reasons which I think everyone can understand. Complacency is caused by lack of interest. Everyone has an interest in making more money. Because with money you can buy this, you can buy that, you can get this, you can get that, you can get the latest iPhone, you can get the nicest car, you can buy a bigger house, go on that dream vacation you've been thinking of. Interest. When you lose interest, you become complacent. The other thing which causes, another reason that causes complacency is overconfidence. When you say in your mind, I got this. Number 3 is to actually think that you have time. That you think that the dunya, the world is not ending tonight. So I got time. If I haven't gone to the masjid for the Jummah or the general body meeting or this jalsa or that jalsa, or I haven't done my prayers, I've got time. Allah's not going anywhere. I ain't going anywhere. And then of course the false perception of reality. A good friend of mine had a near scared death experience. Otherwise perfectly healthy, all of a sudden became extremely sick. To a point where it was very close for him. The death was very close to him. He was staring his death in the eyes. Something happened. Allah Ta'ala miraculously saved him. Gave him a second chance. There might be many sitting here who have been given that second chance in their life. Question is, what am I and what are you planning to do with that second chance? Go back to being complacent, lack of interest, overconfidence, to think you still have time, and then the false perception of reality? Or would you be willing to change something for once? That is the bigger question. So, the year is ended. How should we end this one and begin the next one? साल खत्म हो रहा है, ये साल खत्म होगा, अगला साल शुरू हो जाएगा. हर साल इसी तरह ही होता है. 31 दिसंबर आती है, एक साल खत्म हो जाता है, 1 जनवरी आती है, नया साल शुरू हो जाता है. Every single year, year after year, this has been happening. 31st of December comes, the year ends. 1st of January comes, the new year begins. It begs the question, what is it that we achieved in this year? What is it that we're planning to achieve in the following year, in the coming year? Holy Quran tells us the approach of a believer should be وَلَلْ آخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Your next step has to be better than your previous one. 2024 has to be better than 2023. That's just the way Allah Ta'ala has programmed us. When it comes to material progress, remember, this is how we think. We make plans. Okay, 2024, I want to go to Islamabad, UK, have a mulaqat with Huzur. People make these plans, right? I want to have a nicer car. I want to go for a bigger house. If I'm making 150K a year, I want to shoot for 200K a year. Make goals in spiritual realm as well for your spiritual progress. Get more involved with Jamaat. Here, I want to share a reference of Hazrat Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu. He says, and I quote, "That day is near when those who perform Jamaat work will attain great honor. But the descendants of those who do not show any interest in Jamaat work at this time will be rejected with contempt. When big countries like England and America will send their delegates asking for advice, they will consider this as a matter of great honor for them. At that time, those descendants would say that we also want to participate in giving advice at Jamaat Shura, for example. But they will be told that your forefathers rejected the advice at the time and did not participate in Jamaat work. Therefore, you will not be allowed to participate. Hence, forgo any lethargy towards Jamaat work, and within yourselves instill this realization that whoever attends any Jamaat meeting, he is so much blessed that even the membership of America's council is worthless in front of it." America's council in this case would be, imagine working in president's cabinet. Therefore, you should attend Jamaat meetings even if it causes harm. He who is absent from Jamaat meetings will not affect the workings of the Jamaat one bit, but it is he who will be deprived of the blessings of Allah. Report Majlis-e-Mushawarat 1956, page 24. I'll quote the same passage in Urdu as well. Hazrat Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu फरमाते हैं, वो दिन आने वाला है जब अहमदियत के कामों में हिस्सा लेने वाले बड़ी बड़ी इज्जतें पाएंगे, लेकिन इन लोगों की औलादों को जो इस वक्त जमाती कामों में दिलचस्पी नहीं लेते, धुतकार दिया जाएगा। जब इंग्लिस्तान और अमेरिका जैसी बड़ी बड़ी हुकूमतें मशवरे के लिए अपने नुमाइंदे भेजेंगी और वो इसे अपने लिए मूजिबे इज्जत ख्याल करेंगे, उस वक्त उन लोगों की औलादें कहेंगी कि हमें भी मशवरे में शरीक करो, लेकिन कहने वाला कहेगा कि जाओ, तुम्हारे बाप दादों ने इस मशवरे को अपने वक्त में रद्द कर दिया और जमाती कामों की उन्होंने परवाह नहीं की, इसलिए तुम्हें भी अब इस मशवरे में शरीक नहीं किया जा सकता। बस गफलत को दूर करो, अपने अंदर एक एहसास पैदा करो कि जो शख्स सिलसिले की किसी मीटिंग में शामिल होता है उस पर इस कदर इनाम होता है कि अमेरिका की काउंसिल की मेंबरी भी इसके सामने हेच है और इसे 100 हर्ज करके भी मीटिंग में शामिल होना चाहिए। रिपोर्ट मजलिस मुशावरत सन 1956 सफ़ा नंबर 24। इसी तरह हज़रत मुस्लिम मऊद रज़ी अल्लाह ताला अन्हु एक और मौके पर बयान करते हैं, ये वक्त अहमदियत की खिदमत का वक्त है। अगर इस वक्त मर्द और औरत मिलकर काम नहीं करेंगे और गलबे की कोशिश नहीं करेंगे तो दुनिया में गालिब नहीं आ सकेगा, यानी इस्लाम अहमदियत दुनिया में गालिब नहीं आ सकेगी। तुमको चाहिए कि तुम अपने मकाम को समझो और अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का एहसास रखते हुए दीन की जितनी खिदमत भी कर सको उतनी खिदमत करो। इसी तरह हजूर एक और मकाम पर फरमाते हैं, वो लोग जो जमाती मीटिंग्स और इजलासात को कोई अहमियत नहीं देते, फरमाया अगर हमारी किसी गलती या गुनाह की वजह से अल्लाह ताला ये मकाम हमें नसीब ना करे और हमारी सारी औलादें या हमारी औलाद का कुछ हिस्सा दीन की खिदमत करने के लिए तैयार ना हो, अल्लाह ताला का तवक्कुल उसके अंदर ना पाया जाता हो, खुदा की तरफ इनाबत का मादा उसके अंदर मौजूद ना हो, तो फिर हमें अपने आप को इस अमर के लिए तैयार रखना चाहिए कि जिस तरह मुर्दा जिस्म को काट कर अलग फेंक दिया जाता है, इसी तरह हम उसको भी काट कर अलग फेंक कर देंगे और इस जगह को दीन की खिदमत करने वालों के लिए उनसे खाली करवा लें। तारीख अहमदियत जिल्द नंबर 4 सफ़ा नंबर 37। हजूर हज़रत मुस्लिम मऊद रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु time and again has explained to us that this is a golden opportunity which will not come again. If we miss this opportunity will not present itself again. And what is the ask? Just come and be part of Jamaat meetings. If you are here, it will be worth more than being part of President of the United States of America's cabinet. Imagine how big that is. This is what our Khalifa said more than 70 years ago. This is what our Khalifa said more than 70 years ago. I get it. Some of you must be thinking, man, Imam Sahab, Murabbi Sahab, he's always saying these things to the people who are coming to these events. And that is true. You are the people that come to these events, and a big number of our membership is in here today. Am I preaching to the choir? Some ask. You know, there were more than 100k Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How many of you do you know? How many of them do you know? How many of them does anybody know? Close to 8,000. And that's about it. More than 100k Sahaba, people who believed in Holy Prophet ﷺ during his lifetime and saw him. Only 8,000 or so are the ones that we remember by their name, that we know of. And that's it. So you're here. Others will come. Whenever Allah Ta'ala will open their hearts, they'll come. Don't worry about them. When you enter your grave, you're not answering for, XYZ wasn't there. Allah Ta'ala is not going to be asking you why XYZ wasn't there at the masjid. Allah Ta'ala will ask you, why were you not there at the masjid? Allah Ta'ala is not going to ask you why such and such doctor, for example, who was making millions, wasn't paying the chanda that he should have. Allah Ta'ala will ask you, whatever you were making, why were you not giving your chanda? Allah Ta'ala ने मुझसे मेरी नमाजों के बारे में सवाल करना है, आपकी नमाजों के बारे में नहीं करना। ठीक उसी तरह जिस तरह अल्लाह ताला ने आपसे आपकी नमाजों के बारे में सवाल करना है, मेरी नमाजों के बारे में नहीं करना। So all of us have been given a wake-up call, myself included. 2024, let it be the year, starting tomorrow, that we enter this year with a new zeal and we make sure that we do everything in our capacity that we can to please our Allah Ta'ala. Starting with our own self and then, moving forward with our family members. Remember my friend, that friend of mine who all of a sudden got sick and was very close to dying. and Allah Ta'ala brought him back. Imagine if that was you. Imagine if that was you. And you beg Allah Ta'ala, give me one more chance. And Allah Ta'ala gives you that chance and says, okay, let's see how you do this time. Will you choose to go back to sleep? Will you choose to become complacent again? Or will you take up this opportunity and give your best? May Allah Ta'ala allow me and all of you to give our best to make our Allah happy in 2024. Ameen. Wa akhiru dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.